There's a lot to do today. चालू कर दिया क्या?
Yes, we're live.
Okay.
Let's go.
So there we go. 3 days to the Birmingham test match. Pretty cloudy, but pretty warm. Tomorrow also the temperatures. Let's first start with the weather. Tomorrow also the temperatures are supposed to be very, very warm here in Birmingham. The temperature will about touch 30, 31 degrees centigrade. Tuesday, when I had checked about 5, 6 days back, it was about 24, 25. Now the temperatures on Tuesday have also gone up to approximately 28, 29. So it's a very warm build-up. It's a very, very warm build-up to the test match, though it is cloudy. It is cloudy. I mean, it is not as baking hot as one originally thought it would be. Tomorrow the sun is supposed to bake down. India will be practicing tomorrow. The players are all wandering around here. Just about 5 minutes back, Prasidh, KL and Karun were walking out and perhaps going back to the hotel, had come out for breakfast. This is the area. This is the area around Victoria Square, because this is a walkable thing from the Hyatt Hotel where all the players roam around. So it's a kind of a tense build up to the test match.
Absolutely. Before we get to talking about the cricket, Trisha wants to know where the keys are and I have to message her. So I can't use my phone. But
Okay, so you wait.
yes, please open.
1 second.
These
So
are
these are logistical issues
tough-
which need to get sorted
tough
when
batting
one is
conditions for us.
when one is on tour. So there you go. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, it's a very tense kind of build up to the test match. You can sense, I mean, even if when you're chatting with players, you're talking to them, just about, with this brief conversation with KL Rahul, players are also in a kind of a tense mode. They know that the Indian team played reasonably well. They know that it was a good enough performance. Had they won that test match, one could have sensed that the mood was far, far easier.
I just sent it to her other number as well.
That's fine. You've sent it, right?
Yes.
So the mood would have been far better and much lighter had India won that test match. Now they know that they can't afford a slip. You lose 0-2, and from there on to come back in a series in England
Very
becomes
difficult.
very difficult. And Birmingham is a venue where India has lost 7 and drawn 1. Yes, you can say that, we had come very close. 32 runs is what separated India from victory at Edgbaston. We were very close in 22 also, 377 chase. One thought India should be able to clinch that. Once again, much like Leeds, England was able to cross the line with 100 from Johnny Bairstow that decided that game. So in every way, this is a very tense build-up to this particular test match. India is not practicing today. Tomorrow will be a full throttle training session, which will give us a very clear idea where this match is headed. Your thoughts now that you know what's going on around the game, the kind of stakes involved, massive stakes as far as I'm concerned. How are you
This-
looking at it? Team selection and more. What should India do? Yes, it's cloudy, but does Kuldeep kind of come in? That is the indication that we are getting. Your thoughts?
There's a lot at stake here, like you said, and it will be paramount that the Indian team wins this second test match, because you've lost one, you've shown great potential, you've shown great fight, you've pushed England till the very last session of the last day, but at the same time you were not able to clinch that win, and that's where the difference lies. You cannot be a good team, you need to be a great team. Okay, amazing. So we're locked out because they're inside. I didn't take them. But that's okay. We'll just call them and they'll help us out. Anyway, back to cricket, back to the test match. There's a lot at stake here, and the Indian team will at this point have to recalibrate. They will have to come together and understand what is going wrong. There are a couple of things. Bowling is not at its best right now without a Jasprit Bumrah. If Jasprit Bumrah is not playing in that second test, means you have to find the right bowling attack. You have to find the pacers who will give you that discipline. Does that mean an Arshdeep Singh comes in? Does that mean that you see two spinners in Ravindra Jadeja and Kuldeep Yadav come in? So we're actually staring at a lot of changes in the playing 11 as well. So this selection, I think, will be more important than the first one, because in the first match, you went in with a very a safe team. You went in with cushions when it comes to batting. You went in with a Sai Sudarshan and a Karun Nair both. Sai Sudarshan showed you potential. Karun Nair could not do as much as we expected him to do. Shardul Thakur as well did not give you that cushion with the bat, with the ball as well. He leaked a lot of runs. Maybe he came in too late and maybe he should have been brought in with the new ball much earlier in all the innings that he bowled in. But at the same time, there are a lot of things to think about before that first test match. Now, when I think about tomorrow's practice session, I think it will be one of the most important because go back to that first test match and go back to the match day -1 practice session.
Match day -2. Match day -2.
Match day -2 practice session that we saw at the Headingley ground. And that's when you actually got a real idea of what the playing 11 looked like. Yes, we were speculating what the batting lineup was going to be because of the way that the nets were being simulated. But at the same time, I think we all got our playing 11s that day and we were bang on about that as well. Maybe one change when it comes to Sai Sudarshan because we were expecting Nitish Kumar Reddy to play. But apart from that, we all had a very good idea of what the playing 11 will look like, and tomorrow we're going to get that again.
I kind of agree. I tend to agree with Gargi's point here. Slightly better.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with that. But what is more important is the self-belief. For me, it is also about in the mind. It is also about how much India kind of believes this one. Because Birmingham has not been a happy hunting ground. You will want to believe and you need to believe that you can pick 20 English wickets. That's so. At the start of the series, the concern was very different. The concern was, can India score runs? That was the main concern. If you see the build-up to the series, all of us in Australia, the concern was, can India score runs? Against New Zealand at home, can India score runs? In Australia, Sydney, can India score runs? Melbourne, can India score runs? When we came to England, cloudy conditions, Leeds conditions, overhead and all of this, the same concern, can India score runs? But all of a sudden, the focus here has kind of shifted. The focus here has become a fundamentally different one.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. The focus here has kind of shifted. The focus here is totally different. It is no longer about batting. It is no longer about the fact that India cannot score runs in these conditions,
yes.
because we more or less know that the batting, at least the top 5, top 6 can hold up. We more or less know that against an English attack, Bryden Carr and Chris Wokes and people, KL Rahul, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Rishabh Pant, Shubman Gill, to an extent even Sai Sudarshan and Karun Nair, because Sai Sudarshan in the second innings, Karun Nair also to an extent in the second innings, they were okay. And when Ravindra Jadeja, he was stonking the ball.
Sai was very good.
Sai was very good. Sai looked composed. Yes, that shot that towards short mid-wicket where he got out, that's a bit of a weakness on the onside, and he will have to rectify that weakness because we've seen that happen. But overall, I do think that the focus has moved from not being able to score runs, or the concern over not being able to score runs, to can India pick 20 wickets. Because as Gautam Gambhir also alluded to this factor in the press conference, that even if you score 1,000 runs and India scored 830 odd runs in that test match, you cannot defend it. You cannot win a test match unless you score. So does this bowling, and we come back to the changes again, does this bowling appear to you to be able to take 20 wickets without a Kuldeep Yadav? For me, a Kuldeep Yadav becomes a bit of a certainty, not a defensive option like a Washington Sundar, not a defensive option anymore. You take England on by being aggressive.
Absolutely.
And that's where Kuldeep Yadav kind of becomes very, very important for me.
It does, but you know what? The circumstances have changed, Boria, for the second test match, because you also have a Jofra Archer coming in. Gus Atkinson, has he come in as well? No. So you have a Jofra Archer coming in. Now, if Jofra Archer is bowling fire, does that also sort of concern the top order? What if, the Indian management goes in with a cushion in the batting again because there is a Jofra Archer in the other team? So now you've got multiple things to think about. Yes, we were saying that from the first test match, there is one positive, and that positive is very strong, is the fact that the top order, the top 5 batters are scoring a lot of runs. But at the same time, now that there is a Jofra Archer, does that mean a concern for the batting lineup? So if that's the concern, then what if they go in with Karun Nair again? What if they go in with the Shardul Thakur again to give you that batting, or maybe a Nitish Kumar Reddy, and do not bring in a Kuldeep Yadav? So now it's a multifaceted decision, and it's going to be really difficult, or let's say it's going to be really important, this decision. But the other question that you asked about the bowling, bring in a Kuldeep. Look how hot it is. It is incredibly hot. There has not been a single. We've been here for 3
No
days
rain.
now.
No rain.
No rain, no cold, no breeze, nothing. Even when Leeds was getting hot, there was still the breeze, and it was quite heavy.
This is kind of gloomy and muggy.
This is very gloomy, but at the same time, incredibly humid, and we are all sweating, by the way. It's that hot.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. People
pitch-
here,
the pitch
you
will
can see
break.
this is Victoria Square.
Yeah.
People here, all of them are in t-shirts. Nobody, I mean, nobody is wearing any kind of jacket. Yes, you will see jackets come out again come Wednesday, Thursday, because then it becomes cooler.
Yeah.
Right through the test match, the prediction is between 22 and 13, 14. So relatively on the cooler side for sure. But at least in the build-up, tomorrow is hot and warm. Today is warm. Day after is warm. All of us are in t-shirts. You don't need jackets. Does Kuldeep come into play? 100% he does.
Yeah.
100% he does. And I say this point multiple times. England has not played left-arm wrist spin. Quality left-arm wrist spin is not something the England middle... Look, what is the problem? The problem is dislodging the England middle and lower order. That middle and lower order scored 112 runs. Middle and lower order scored 112 runs at Leeds. And one can see the middle and Aaja Baba.
One can see Rohan, one can see Devashish.
Hey, everybody is in their shorts. Wonderful.
Because
Rohan
it is
and
hot.
Devashish.
That's
It is
how
hot. It is hot.
And
Devashish
look,
and Rohan are both.
If it's hot and if the sun is out in the first 3 days, you've got massive advantage with the Kuldeep Yadav in the team.
Yeah, I mean, you need wicket-taking options.
Yeah, absolutely.
And unfortunately,
You don't have many when it comes to the
এখানেই
pacers.
ঘুরছে সব প্লেয়াররা বাই দ্য ওয়ে সো আমি গার্গির সাথে কেএল এর আলাপ করালাম all of them were here only, everybody is here. It's a
Yeah.
kind of a tense build up. So anyway, coming back to that, these guys are, look at them, they've come and started taking photos. Our other colleagues Rohan and Devashish, they should have come to and joined us on the show. Anyway, doesn't matter, but
Yeah.
that's where I believe that dislodging the English middle and lower order
Is so important.
is critical, and your best bet there, because they haven't the temptation
Yes,
to go for a
yes.
big shot.
Jamie
The
Smith.
temptation, exactly, a Jamie Smith who goes for his big shots, a Chris Wokes, a Bryden Cass. They were attacking the Indian bowlers at Leeds. That's where a Kuldeep Yadav, he can go for a one big shot and then get a wicket. He will give opportunities. Jamie Smith against a Kuldeep Yadav, couple of fielders in the deep, that wrong on, that pitching on the rough. I 100% espouse the inclusion of Kuldeep Yadav in the
I
team.
think Kuldeep Yadav can also go for someone like a Ben Stokes. What happened?
Some trade to CSK, I have no idea.
What? CSK
I mean,
in
boss,
the middle of we're talking about India. and England, we're
I
talking
honestly,
about
Sanju
CSK.
Samson trade to CSK, I have no idea. I am totally, this show is dedicated to the test match, and I would want to
So are
focus
we.
on the test match. I have zero interest in Sanju Samson being traded to CSK, unfortunately, at this point in time.
Yeah.
Yes, you want to know about it, we can try and figure it out, but not now. There's a test match round the corner, and this is a build-up show from Birmingham on the test match. I'm not denying that it's not news or whatever, but this particular show is a very different one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was.
You want to take some questions?
Yes, let's take some question. I was going to talk about.
Muche dibi. Ah,
I was
lovely.
saying that Kuldeep Yadav can also go for someone like a Ben Stokes and get that wicket.
Yeah.
Okay. K Yadav in the second test. Okay. Cosmic Seer is saying बुरियादा प्रैक्टिस के हिसाब से क्या 11 होगी बता. अभी नहीं बताएंगे, कल बताएंगे प्रैक्टिस सेशन होने के बाद. जब भी हमें ऐसे आइडिया लगने लगेगा ना कि ये प्लेयर ये कर रहा है, उसी से समझ आ जाता
थोड़ा
है.
सा रूटीन बता दीजिए
हाँ.
कि कल कितने बजे प्रैक्टिस है, परसों कितने बजे प्रैक्टिस है, वो सारे डिटेल्स हैं हमारे
Details,
पास.
okay.
वो बता दीजिए, बिकॉज देन द व्यूअर्स विल नो. वन सेकंड, हम आपको बता देते हैं कि एग्जैक्टली
चश्मा
स्केड्यूल क्या है. वो चश्मा रोहन ने थोड़ा सा क्लीन कर दिया. हियर इट इज. 1 सेकेंड, आपको बताते हैं। ओके, 30 जून कल सुबह 9:30 बजे से इंडिया प्रैक्टिस करेगा एट एजबैस्टन। लोकल टाइम 9:30, मतलब इंडिया टाइम 2 बजे से। इंडिया टाइम 2 बजे से इंडिया प्रैक्टिस करेगा एट एजबैस्टन। सो आप ये मानकर चलिए कि गार्गी एंड आई विल कम लाइव अराउंड 2:30 इंडिया टाइम, देन वी विल अगेन कम लाइव अराउंड 4ish and 5ish, बिकॉज हम लोग वहां से सारे प्रैक्टिस डिटेल्स आपको बताएंगे। प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस भी कल होने वाला है। ये देखिए, प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस 1 बजे होगा। 1 बजे मतलब इंडिया टाइम 5:30 बजे प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस होगा। उस वो भी आपको देखने को मिलेगा सारे रेव स्पोर्ट्स प्लेटफॉर्म में। मान लीजिए फ्रॉम 2 o'clock हमारे साथ जुड़ जाना, क्योंकि हम लोग 1 बजे इंडिया टाइम 1 बजे से एजबैस्टन में होंगे। सो फ्रॉम द टाइम द टीम कम्स, फ्रॉम द अराइवल शॉट्स टू द ट्रेडिंग, अगेन वी विल स्प्रेड आवर रिपोर्टर्स अराउंड, वी विल टेल यू हु इज बैटिंग, हु इज बॉलिंग, कौन से नेट्स में क्या हो रहा है, सारे डिटेल्स। बिकॉज देखिए, बाकी सारे प्लेटफॉर्म्स का एक ही आदमी अगर यहाँ है तो वो डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है। हम लोग स्प्रेड आउट कर जाते हैं। सो फॉर एग्जांपल, गार्गी कैन फोकस on Kuldeep Yadav, the point that she is making. I can focus on maybe the overall bowling. Somebody can see the body language of a Gill and a Gautam. What are the conversations going on? ये जो सारे डिटेल शुभायन एंड रोहित, ये इन दोनों को बोल देंगे कि अच्छा आप बॉलिंग पर फोकस करो या बैटर्स पर फोकस करो। ये सारे देवाशीष विल गो इनटू डिटेल, सो विल त्रिशा। हम लोग आपको सारे डिटेल्स बताते रहेंगे फ्रॉम द प्रैक्टिस। 30th को भी, ये कल 30th है, सॉरी, पहला जुलाई विच इज डे आफ्टर, इंडिया 1:30 बजे से ट्रेनिंग करेगा। 1:30 बजे से ट्रेनिंग करेगा और करीब 1 बजे, 1:15 बजे, मतलब इंडिया टाइम 6 बजे प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस होगा। इंडिया का ट्रेनिंग 1:30 बजे से 3:30 4 बजे तक चलेगा। अगेन हम लोग वहां से आपको सारे डिटेल्स बताते रहेंगे। सो दिस इज द अपडेट एज फार एज द इंडियन ट्रेनिंग शेड्यूल इज कंसर्न।
All right. So we have the training schedule. Let's go back to the comment section and see what we have here. Today is a special day.
29th, yeah. 29th. I mean, today is Rohit Sharma's special day. India's special day. After 11 years, India won that. Surya Kumar Yadav's catch, still fresh. I still can't believe how South Africa lost that. 30 balls, 30 runs. South Africa finally has won the WTC. Otherwise, it will continue to haunt them forever. That was their match to win. Incredible final. Virat Kohli's innings in the final stood out. That was an incredible final in Barbados, and then the team got stuck in the hurricane.
And then the journalists got to come back with the Indian team in the same
flight,
jet.
yeah.
Incredible. I mean, that is one of the most unusual situations that you could have probably thought of.
And Jai Shah helped a lot.
Yes,
I have to put this on
he
record
did.
that Jai, personally, because we had 2 journalists, Debashish and Ishan, who was with us at that point. Debashish and Ishan, Jai helped a lot. So one has to put that on record. The BCCI did its bit to get everybody back safe and on time. And what an incredible reception it was. You covered that reception in Delhi, remember? At 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning when the team landed, and which hotel was it? Some hotel, Moria.
ITC,
Moria.
I think, yeah.
So you were there, and we were covering the team arrivals and all of that. So great day, absolutely great day.
All right, Saravnan is saying, tell Gautam Gambhir to change. You tell, huh? Tell Gautam Gambhir to make wholesome changes. KL Jaiswal, Karun Gill, Pant, NKR, Jadeja, Kuldeep, Arshdeep, Siraj, Prasidh और आकाशदीप।
तो यही तो टीम हम लोग बोल रहे हैं।
हम लोग तो यही बोल रहे हैं, सभी यही कह रहे हैं।
आपने खाली एक चेंज किया है इसमें, आपने करुण नायर को 3 पे खेला है, साई सुदर्शन को छोड़ के। आप एक चेंज आपका इस टीम के साथ, हमारा जो टीम हम लोग बोल रहे हैं वही है। बाकी सारे प्लेयर्स एक है। देखिए, अगर जसप्रीत बुमराह रेस्ट ले रहे हैं, सो उनके जगह इधर आकाशदीप और अर्शदीप खेलेंगे, ये तय है। सो लार्जली वही एक चेंज आपको देखने को मिलेगा। सेकेंड चेंज, आप कुलदीप यादव के बारे में बोल रहे हो, हम लोग भी बोल रहे हैं, क्योंकि शार्दुल ठाकुर के जगह आप एक बैटर कम खिलाओ, आप एक बैटर 7 तक खिलाओगे, बिकॉज योर बैटिंग हैज नाउ गिवन यू दैट कुशन। एंड फाइनली आपको एक जो 3 पे आप बोल रहे हो, साई वहीं पे खेलेगा। सो 3 चेंजेस हम लोग देख रहे हैं। एक फोर्स चेंज, जसप्रीत बुमराह नहीं खेलेंगे तो उनके जगह फोर्स चेंज, फिर साई सुदर्शन और करुण नायर। आप करुण नायर बोल रहे हो, हम लोग साई सुदर्शन बोल रहे हैं। एक वहां पे बैटिंग चेंज होगा, जहां पे आप नीतीश कुमार रेड्डी को देख लोगे एज अ बैटिंग ऑलराउंडर। एंड द थर्ड चेंज, शार्दुल ठाकुर के जगह आप कुलदीप। ये बैग किसका है?
I don't know. Yes, we do. Of course you can.
Go for it. आप उसके जगह आप कुलदीप यादव को देखोगे। So
Yeah.
that's what you will. These are the three changes that are most likely at this point in time. But as Gargi very rightly said, we will have a far clearer idea from the
Tomorrow.
nets tomorrow. Because tomorrow is not an optional nets. It's a full-on intense nets. Day after will be optional. Day after will be optional. But tomorrow we will have a clear idea what is India's plan going into this test match.
What is India's plan? Oh, I wish I knew. But from Rev Sports.
Rohan, okay, subscribe koriye de to. Just go to him, he'll
Okay,
help
okay.
you.
Yeah. So the plan at this point is, I think, Sai Sudarshan, Karun Nair, right? You have these two pure batters. I think a Karun Nair can, or maybe a Shardul Thakur can sit out. Kuldeep Yadav comes in. I think one of the best strategies that you can employ at this point is getting Kuldeep Yadav in that team. We've made this point time and time again, and I don't want to go on and on about it again. But Kuldeep Yadav needs to be in that playing 11. I think one of the biggest reasons why is because of that England tail. We had a very difficult time getting that tail out. It wagged once again. Jamie Smith Joe Root partnership in that second innings.
Finished it.
In the first innings, you had a Chris Wokes and Bryden Carr partnerships. You cannot keep having these lower order partnerships time and time again. They ruin the game. India had done the job with the bat. They had the runs on the scoreboard, but all of the hard work was undone when that lower order partnerships happened. And it's frustrating, honestly, when you can't do that, when you have to bring in a Jasprit Bumrah to break a partnership of Chris Wokes and Bryden Carr. So if you have a Kuldeep Yadav, you not only save a little bit of workload from Jasprit Bumrah, but you also get breakthroughs when you have both a Ravindra Jadeja and a Kuldeep Yadav bowling from either ends, bowling those tight lines and getting those breakthroughs.
Okay, so सारे सवाल ले लेते हैं because we've been talking for a while now. Aniruddha Dotto, very nice to cover the women's practice matches. Thank you. Women's teams matches, sorry. Thank you very much. Please cover the under 19. Yes, I was also checking that Vaibhav scored that 48 the other day. And India, Abhigyan Kundu, by the way, Abhigyan Kundu has 122 hundreds as a teenager. Wave किसको कर रहे हो?
Trisha.
अच्छा, okay. So 122 hundreds as far as Abhigyan Kundu is concerned. Judhajit Guho, Judhajit plays for Bengal. I was hosting that CAB function. Judhajit has been stellar. It is a solid under 19 side. So yes, Aniruddha, मैं तो प्रैक्टिस मैच देख कर सोच रहा था कि कंबोज को डेब्यू होगा. देखिए कंबोज टीम में नहीं थे. अगर प्रैक्टिस मैच देखने के बाद आपको लगा था क्योंकि वो अच्छा बॉल डाल रहे थे, आप सही कह रहे हो, बट पहले टीम में आप सीधा हाँ, सो पहले आपके पास जो बॉलर्स है आप उसको खिलाओगे, सो आपको वो देखना पड़ेगा. व्हाई नॉट वॉशिंगटन सुंदर? वॉशिंगटन सुंदर रविंद्र जाडेजा में एक, और रविंद्र जाडेजा कुछ खराब बॉलिंग नहीं डाला है. वॉशिंगटन सुंदर भी आपके पास वो डिफेंसिव ऑप्शन ही होंगे, बैटिंग बहुत अच्छा कर लेते हैं, बट रविंद्र जाडेजा को मैच ना मिलना, आपको अगर लगता है कि, मुझे तो नहीं लगता कि रविंद्र जाडेजा को छोड़कर इंडिया अंदर इस मैच में खेलेगा. फ्रीकिंग ऑसम, रेस्टिंग बुमराह इज अ गुड मूव. एजबैस्टन, इट्स हार्ड to pick wickets even if you have Bumrah. Good batting wicket. Lords will be better.
Yes.
I think India is planning to do exactly
Yes.
that. बोरियादा, ग्रेटेस्ट स्कॉलर शशि थरूर का एक इंटरव्यू कीजिए क्रिकेट पे, उनका नॉलेज शानदार है. शशि थरूर ने किताब भी लिखा हुआ है शाहरियार खान के साथ इंडिया पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट पे. और शशि थरूर देखिए मेरा दोस्त है एंड उनका क्रिकेट नॉलेज ज़रूर है, बट शशि थरूर अभी इस देश में तो है नहीं, वो इंडिया में है. यहाँ से बैठ के शशि थरूर का इंटरव्यू करने का कोई मतलब नहीं बनता है, क्योंकि वो भी एक इंटेलेक्चुअल है. उनका नॉलेज भी बाहर से ही होगा. वो फॉर्मर क्रिकेटर या यहाँ पे तो है नहीं कि वो एक फर्स्ट हैंड इंसाइट आपको बता सकते हैं. उनका जो नॉलेज होगा वो एक मैक्रो नॉलेज होगा, और उस नॉलेज को मैं बहुत रिस्पेक्ट करता हूँ, क्योंकि उनको क्रिकेट लिटरेचर में इंटरेस्ट है, मुझे भी है. सो हम लोग इसके बारे में बहुत चर्चा भी कर चुके हैं. हाउ वॉज लंच इन इंग्लैंड? यू मीन टू से how was lunch in England? You mean how was lunch in Lalit's house? It was nice. It wasn't really lunch. It was more snacky. Before that, we had lunch in another place. But the round table was fascinating to get to hear from Lalit untold IPL stories. He was willing to answer the hard questions. That what mistakes were made.
And none of us held back.
Nobody. All of them asked questions. Whether it is Gargi, whether it is Trisha, whether it is Rohan, whether it is Shubha and Rohit, Amit, everybody. All of my teammates asked questions of Lalit, and Lalit did not hold back either. Whether the questions were difficult ones, whether the questions were were kind of easy ones, they were tough questions. He was willing to open up and answer every possible question.
Absolutely.
What is this?
Final-
122 100 watt. What is this? Will Lalit Modi come back to India and face the law? देखिए ये तो ललित मोदी और लॉ कहेगा. At this point in time, I see no chance of him coming back, and neither has he had got any interest in coming back. From what we asked, he said no. So I don't see Lalit Modi coming back to India
Is that-
anytime soon.
Is that Dhruv and Abhimanyu?
That is Washington.
Oh,
That is
sorry.
Washington and
My
Sai.
God, I've got to get my glasses.
You get your
back.
glasses. That's Washington and Sai.
Yeah. We can end the show?
Yeah, we will. We will. That's Washington and Sai. How are you?
He didn't hear.
कैसे हो? Very good. Hey, good. So this is the area where all these fellows will have to wander around, because they will go for lunch from here only. This is the area where all these chaps that sort of step out and enjoy and do what. Let's take some more questions. We'll end in about 5 minutes. Talk a bit about the weather during the test match. बता दीजिए.
Whether during the test match, if I'm not wrong, the first 3 days are pretty warm, and after that it starts to get slightly cooler. But there's not much rain predicted. I don't think there's any rain.
20% chance of rain,
नहीं
which
होगी.
is कुछ नहीं होगा.
नहीं होगा, कुछ नहीं होगा. वहाँ लीड्स में 90% होके भी बारिश नहीं हुई थी. As in बहुत ज्यादा नहीं. जितना थंडरस्टॉर्म ये सब बता रहे थे उस हिसाब से कुछ भी नहीं हुआ.
नहीं तो लास्ट दिन तो मैच ड्रॉ हो जाता.
The only stop that we saw was because of a slight, not even slight, let's say moderate drizzle. It wasn't even heavy rain. So that's the kind of condition that we're seeing in Birmingham. There's no rain involved. It's going to be pretty warm and not much cold.
NKR have a chance?
क्या? NK Nitish Kumar?
K7 is asking, does NKR have a chance?
I think so. I think if you get a...
if you are dropping Shardul, then yes, NKR does have a chances.
You drop Shardul, you get Kuldeep, you drop Karun and then get NKR.
That's the point, because you also have to give that pace bowlers that 5-over cushion that Shardul did, and NKR was bowling a long spell, so he will be able to. Day before yesterday, he bowled a strong spell in the practice session. We will have a fairly clear idea depending on how much NKR is bowling tomorrow. We will update you on NKR, but between us, we do think NKR does have a pretty strong chance. Sumit Kumar Sahu, possible Sai and Karun might swap positions.
Sai and Karun might swap positions. I don't see Sai getting dropped at this.
I don't see
that partnership with KL Rahul showed a lot of potential, and it showed you that he can bat in those treacherous English conditions. So I don't see Sai Sudarshan getting dropped at all.
I don't either. And by the way, just to alleviate people's concerns, Sai, the shoulder injury and all of that, from what we know, it's not something concerning. He has been training to field in the slips and in the gully if necessary. Yashasvi Jaiswal also has been doing some extra fielding drills leading into this test match. So all of that is certainly happening. I kind of agree. I don't see Sai getting dropped either. Last few questions. Talk a bit, we've already given you the weather. Anshu Mishra, लंदन में 2 ग्राउंड लॉर्ड्स और ओवल के बीच अप्रॉक्स कितना डिफरेंस है? दोनों में लंदन में ही है, ये थोड़ा डिस्टेंट, माने आप डिस्टेंस के बारे में बात कर रहे हो. लॉर्ड्स है एक तरफ लंदन का जो आपको नॉर्थ वेस्ट में मिलता है, दूसरा कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट आप वॉक्सहॉल एरिया में होता है ओवल. सो आप अगर सेंट्रल लंदन से अंडरग्राउंड में भी जाते हो तो आप, मतलब मैं कल गार्गी को ये समझा रहा था कि देखिए लंदन, सेंट्रल लंदन बिकम्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर कम्यूट, क्योंकि अगर आप सोचते हो कि मैं टैक्सी से चला आऊँगा, सेंट्रल लंदन में आप 100% ट्रैफिक में फंस जाओगे. और सेंट्रल लंदन ट्रैफिक, मैं जानता नहीं हूँ आप कहाँ से हो, बट कोलकाता या बॉम्बे या बेंगलोर से बहुत बदतर ट्रैफिक है, ख़राब ट्रैफिक है. क्या होता है सेंट्रल लंदन में, द रोड्स, these double decker buses which are still there, so in and around central London, so मान लीजिए ऑक्सफोर्ड स्ट्रीट, रीजेंट स्ट्रीट, ट्रफालगर, पिकाडेली सर्कस, ये जो एरियाज हैं इनमें ट्रैफिक इज वेरी वेरी स्लो. इवन लॉर्ड्स, सो मान लीजिए आप बेकर स्ट्रीट से आप 139 नंबर बस चढ़े और आप लिसन ग्रोव क्रॉस करके आप लॉर्ड्स जा रहे हो. वो जर्नी अगर सुबह जा रहे हो आप गाड़ी में संडे को, आपको लगेगा 5 मिनट भी नहीं लगेगा, एग्जैक्टली 5 मिनट लगेगा फ्रॉम बेकर स्ट्रीट टू लॉर्ड्स. वो सेम जर्नी अगर आप बस पे जाते हो इन द मिडल ऑफ द डे, वो जर्नी आपको 30 मिनट्स लग जाएगा. सो ऐसा ही ट्रैफिक है, बिकॉज और रोड वर्क्स और कंस्ट्रक्शन भी हो रहे हैं. सो वहाँ पे एक तरफ गाड़ी रुक जाते हैं एंड देन 2-3 मिनट 4 मिनट का ट्रैफिक लाइट हो जाता है. अगर आप यहाँ से लॉर्ड्स के तरफ से वॉक्सहॉल की तरफ आ रहे हो, you give yourself at least 1 hour. So that's what I've told them, that I have booked them in areas which are close to the ground. आप लॉर्ड्स के समय जब कवर कर रहे हो, आप एजवेयर रोड, बेकर स्ट्रीट, मार्लेबोन वहाँ पे रहो. अब जब ओवल कवर कर रहे हो तो आप वाटरलू, वॉक्सहॉल वहाँ पे रहो, so that it gives you a clear idea कि आप लंदन प्रॉपरली नेविगेट कर सकते हो. If you think by the way, all of this is central London. आप अगर सोचते हो कि मैं लॉर्ड्स में रह के ओवल कवर कर लूंगा, आप नहीं कर पाओगे, बिकॉज इट विल टेक यू 1 hour टू कम, 1.5 hours to go back in the evening, and then after a long day it gets very, very difficult, even if you are taking the underground. So London traffic is quite problematic, and having lived in this country and stayed here for 25 years, I can tell you it is one of the worst traffics. And by the way, if you are stuck on M4 and you are traveling outside of London or on the A34, then you're gone. Then the traffic just doesn't move.
All right.
Okay, खत्म करते हैं बॉस.
Yes.
There was a super chat. वो ले लोगे?
Super chat.
हाँ. दिख गया था.
Oh yes. Found it.
बहुत सारा है.
Okay, Boryadal Ayush Jindal. Hello Ayush, how are you? Boryadal loving the coverage, super work. So many journalists on ground, gives different perspectives, which is very important. Keep it up. Hope you remember me. Of course we remember. Of course we do. You are one of our when we were a small organization as a startup, you have been with us since then. I mean, a lot of you have been with us since then, and now obviously the organization has grown, the depth and quality of coverage has changed. So we will continue to do work, but you guys need to keep supporting. Ultimately, it is about you. Yesterday, Lalit Modi kept talking about the fan experience bit. For us also, it is you, the cricket fan, or the sports fan who is at the center of our coverage. Absolutely.
It is not for us. I mean, Gargi and I can keep chatting for 5 hours here. So how does it make a difference to anybody? We'll go and watch it's about you. You are the center point. And that's what I've said, right? That you guys need to back the team. Ask the questions, ask the critical questions, but back the team. By abusing, some people do, by all of that just doesn't make any difference or makes any sense to me whatsoever. It is a team that is representing India. You are a fan. Absolutely be at the center of the coverage and the discourse and back the team. That's about it from us at the moment. We will keep coming back to you. We will obviously update you again towards the evening. Maybe even do a short live, because we've just got to have lunch. Maybe around 9 o'clock, Gargi and I will be together in 9 o'clock India, which is around 4:30 local. We might even do a short live based on what has happened today and update you on developments for tomorrow. Let's see. Let's keep it flexible, but plenty of coverage will keep coming your way. So keep supporting us. If anybody hasn't subscribed, subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell.